What's going on, YouTube? We're back today with another Sports Talk episode. Today we're going to be going over the national championship game that just happened and the 4 NFL playoff games. But first, let's start off with this national championship against Oregon and Ohio State, where I was going with my prediction. I thought it would be a close game and Oregon would win by 3 points, but Ohio State impressed me a lot. They did a lot more than I thought they would today. First, they were a whole lot more physical than Oregon. A whole lot more physical. They ran over them. Cardale Jones running the ball, passing, doing whatever. He could throw, he can run. He's like Cam Newton and Tim Tebow. Better than both of, well, maybe not better than Tim Tebow, but maybe a little bit worse than Cam Newton, but right up there with him. With maturity, more playing time, he can be just as good as Cam, if not better, in the NFL. But I don't know if he's going to go or not, but if he does, he should go mid-rounds probably. He's a good quarterback. He can run, he can pass, he can do everything you want him to. Then with Ezekiel Elliott, I think that's how you pronounce his name, 246 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, all career highs for him today. He destroyed this Oregon defense that just looked pathetic. They got 4 turnovers, I know, but still, 246 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. How do you let someone do this to you? That's terrible defense by Oregon. Then Oregon's offense. They got 4 turnovers. They created 4 turnovers and did nothing. With 2 of them, or 3 of them. They did nothing with them. They didn't score any. I think one they scored on, but they only got a field goal out of it. They didn't get enough points out of those turnovers. 4 turnovers, you need at least some points out of them. And they did not. And that's really what came down to be the difference of the game. And Oregon also had 2 mistakes, penalties, dropping passes when you're wide open. When it came down to it, Ohio State was more physical, was the better team at the end of the day, and deserved to win this championship and deserved to be in this playoff format. Another thing I want to talk about this Oregon-Ohio State game is what I thought would have been called back a touchdown when the Oregon player went over, across the line. Right before he got there, he let the ball go. I thought it was going to be called back. I didn't think he had all control of the ball when he crossed the plane. What I don't understand is why would players do this? Oregon already saw this happen to another team they played, Utah, earlier in the year. You can go, I'll link down the description that play. And I don't understand why players, Deshaun Jackson has done this too when he was in Philly. Why players, before they get in the end zone, want to throw the ball? Why don't you keep the ball? Give it to the ref when you get all the way through the end zone. Why do you want to throw the ball, just drop the ball right after you score? I don't understand this. It kills me because I hate seeing this. Just cross the plane, act like you've been there before, and go on with your day. Alright, now let's talk about these 4 playoff games, starting out with the Saturday games. Baltimore, New England, a very good game where New England squeaked out a win 35-31. And I thought it would be a good game, which it was. I thought New England would win by a little bit more, but it is what it is. They won the game. Baltimore went up there, played great in the first half. I thought they were going to run away with the game. Then New England, second half, came back, made it a game, took the lead, and from there, held it. The play that was talked about the most was when they had the 4 linemen, the right tackle, right guard, center, then the left guard, and the tight end was the left tackle, and Jonas Gray, the running back, reported as ineligible, and the tight end, who was, I don't remember his name, reported as eligible, but he's playing left tackle, so he went out he just streak route for 20, and they didn't cover him because they thought that he was ineligible, but they told him on the loudspeaker that he was eligible and that Jonas Gray was ineligible, yet Ravens want to complain about it, and then John Harbaugh got flagged because they said they didn't tell him about it, but they did. And I love that Belichick once again becomes a genius, and I love that. That's football right there. And now let's go to Seattle and Carolina, the night game that was terrible. Seattle destroyed them, and I knew they would. They're the better team. Carolina, 7-8-1 coming in, was not the best team. The NFC South, obviously, 7-8-1 team coming out of that division. They should be in the playoffs, but you knew they were going to go in Seattle. And I think any team that goes in Seattle is probably going to lose in the playoffs, including Green Bay next week, which I'll have those predictions next episode on Friday. So tune in for that. But back to this game. Seattle was the better team all around, defense, offense, special teams, whatever. They're the better team. Without special teams, Cam Chancellor jumping over the line of scrimmage to block a field goal attempt was just incredible. Former Virginia Tech player. And at the end of the day, everyone pretty much knew that Seattle was going to win this game against Carolina. There's not much to go over about that. Now to the Dallas-Green Bay game that everyone on Twitter all the Cowboy fans on Twitter were complaining about the Dez Bryant catch. And now I want to get into this rule and why it was not a catch. Dez Bryant went up for the ball, and honestly, he never really had great control of the ball. He had it, and then the cornerback swiped it. He gained it again, took 2 steps, was going to the ground, hit the ground. The ball hit the ground, clearly popped out of his hands. Then once he hit the ground, was on his back, he got it again. Once it hit the ground, no matter what, it's going to be an incomplete pass. Even though he took 3 steps, he's going to the ground. By rule, if you're going to the ground and the ball hits the ground, if the ball hits the ground and pops up, it's going to be an incomplete pass, and that's why it was called the way it was. And another thing, once Green Bay got the ball after that call and it was an incomplete pass, they drove down and had enough time, even if it was called complete, to score a field goal that didn't define the game. Dallas could have stopped them on defense, gotten the ball back. They didn't. And Green Bay, even if they did score, would have had another chance to go down and score a field goal or even a touchdown to win it. Saying that Dallas was gone for 2, gotten it, and Green Bay could only kick a field goal to tie it or a touchdown to win it. So that still wouldn't have made a difference, but Green Bay still would have had a chance, and it's not the game-changing play everyone thinks it is. The game wouldn't have been over if the play was made. Dallas just needed to do more on defense. They didn't. Green Bay ended up winning, and by rule, it was the right call. Unlike last week where Dallas had the refs on their side. Indianapolis and Denver is the next game I wanted to get into, where Indianapolis won 24-13, and where Denver looked terrible other than the first drive of the game. Peyton Manning did not look like the Peyton Manning that we all know him to be. His accuracy's terrible. What was he? It was way under 50%. What was his accuracy? $26 for 46. Yeah. No, it was over 50%. Okay, whatever. But he threw 20 incompletions. That is a lot of incompletions. And he didn't throw any interceptions, though, yet. But he only threw for 211 yards. Had that strip fumble. And his passes just... He had people open, he just couldn't hit them. I know he's battling with a bad quad, but still. To win playoff games, he had to make those throws. He didn't. That was the only game I've got wrong in this postseason so far. I thought Denver could win this game. They didn't. The Colts, congrats to Andrew Luck. You got to go to New England next week, which will not be easy. And that's going to be a tough game, but congrats to the Colts. Andrew Luck played great, but he had 2 interceptions. You win next week, you can't have those turnovers. If you have turnovers against Tom Brady, you're not going to win. It's not going to happen. And that's going to do it for this episode, guys. I'm going to have my picks next week. Next episode on Friday night, Saturday afternoon, somewhere in there, depending. And till then, I'm out. Thanks for watching.